and I doubt it's the fruit of honest labor. So that's what this was all about? They fled here to protect their loot? We should bring this to the Order. Maybe we can find out who they stole it from.
Quite a lot of
No!
it.
You can't do that, please.
Stay right there.
What?
Who are you?
I'm not one of them. Please don't hurt me. Oh, by the righteous path. What did I get myself into?
If you're not one of the bandits, then who are you?
Alice Summerstone. I'm just a simple man, a farmer by me path. I have 2 daughters, me woman and a little farm girl just a few miles from Ark. Maybe you know one of me girls. She sells her bread at the market, Mondas de Freiras.
The skinny one with the blonde hair?
Yes, exactly. That's her. My little Serta.
Explain yourself. Why are you here?
Aye, of course. Do you know who Landlord Borek is?
He's one of the most influential landlords of the Farmer's Coast. Both the Guard and the Order get their food from his lands.
Yes, I know him.
What does he have to do with this?
Everything. He's a pathless bastard. And all of this is his fault. I swear it by me name.
Why?
Because he's a criminal, that's why. Believe me, I know how that sounds. But it's the truth. You have to believe me. The tolls he collects from his tenants are so high that we hardly have anything left to eat. And those who don't pay get beaten up by his lackeys. But that's not all of it. He also knows the Rhalâta.
The Rhalâta? The cult from the Undercity?
Aye, who else? They believe themselves above Malphas, above the Holy Path. And they are powerful. Which is also why no one does anything about them.
And let me guess, this gold belongs to Borek, and you hope that his supposed cruelty justifies your theft?
No, this money isn't his. I had debts. It all started 3 years ago, when we had a very bad harvest, and I couldn't pay me toll for the first time. Borek gave me a loan, but he said that I'd have to pay interest next time. Well, I think you can figure out the rest.
You got into more and more debt, and you were looking for a way to pay everything at once?
Aye. I knew from a friend that there was this man in the Undercity, this Carrick. And he said that he and his men might be willing to help me, if they would get money from it. Apparently they even had a sense of honor and path-abidingness, if you can call it that.
So you made a bargain with them. But whose pennies are those?
They're from a traveling merchant. We ambushed him, and you know what we did. But I swear by me name we didn't hurt him. When we had the money, all Sunfire started breaking loose. Some kind of woman appeared, all veiled and dressed in black. And in the wink of an eye, she killed 2 of Carrick's men. We tried to fight her at first, but then we ran for it. Well, and ended up in this ruin.
No merchant in his right mind would travel the penny road alone. Especially not with all the brigands and vetters who have been roaming it lately.
What? No, you're wrong, I'm not...
Come on, spit it out.
All right. It's true. The money is from the food bank.
The food bank? You stole from the people of the Undercity?
Yes. But I didn't have a choice. It was either that or lose me farm.
You realize that Carrick's men killed 3 guards from Ark? So much for bandits with honor.
I know. I was there. Carrick was so mad about all that happened with this witch woman, you know? I think he just wanted to get his men to safety. But still, you're right. I was a fool to trust him, and I regret what I did.
A veiled woman? With dark robes and a low voice?
She didn't speak much, but yes, she had dark robes. And she was... different. Unholy. Sorry, I don't know how to describe her any better.
And now you expect me to turn you loose with the money, right? To save your farm?
Me farm and me family, aye. Please, it's the right thing to do. If I don't have the money by the next turn of the moon, Borek and his lackeys will change their tune. And I know what that means.
What do you think, Kalia?
It's a tough call. I can understand his motivation, but that doesn't change the consequence of his actions. If we let him run, we legitimize his crime, so to speak. You should justify your crime before the tribunal. Explain to them what Boric did, and they might judge you lightly.
Judge lightly? You don't really believe that, do you? They don't care about the why, and even if they do, it doesn't change a damn thing about the fact that my family is lost without this money.
Maybe, but it doesn't change that you're at least partially responsible for what happened here. But it's your call.
Right intentions don't justify doing the wrong thing. This money isn't yours. It belongs to those who have barely enough to live anyway. You'll be presented to the tribunal.
No, but... Oh, damn. What did I get myself into?
By the prophet's ass, you really got them all. You don't stop surprising me, that's for sure. And neither do you, Keeper Sakaresh. Thanks for deactivating the traps up there. Who's our shackled friend here? He doesn't look like one of the bandits.
No, but he's guilty nonetheless. Can you escort him to Ark?
To Ark? Sure. Jakil, Jorel, you take care of that. Alright then. I'd say if this machine is somewhere in this ruin, it's here. I suggest you two take a look around. We'll cover your back in the meantime.
I suppose we found our machine. At least, what's left of it. Do you feel anything, Saira? With your gift, I mean.
Nothing. No. But this thing looks familiar somehow. Let's take a look around.
Agreed. Maybe we can even take some small parts of it with us right now. The Order will transport the rest to Ark by Myrad. What strange metal. It didn't rust at all, despite all the time it's been here.
You just called me Saira. What kind of nickname is that?
Oh, I did? I'm sorry. Saira is Kyranian and can mean a lot of things, but the closest translation in our case would be Sister-in-Arms. My foster father called me that, so I suppose it's just an old habit. I like the way it sounds, though. If you don't mind, I'll call you that from now on.
Correct. Nothing else possesses that much raw, magical power.
Look what I found. Does this seem useful?
Let me see. Yes, it does indeed. Seems to be some kind of energy storage, but it's empty.
All this energy, it's useless without the Numinos.
That looks useful, whatever it is.
Yes, you're right. How is it possible that it moves all by itself? Let's take it with us.
It works in a way we have not even come close to comprehending, like a cosmic force.
What about these parchments?
They look useful. Let's take them to the Chronicum.
I think that's all we need for now. Let the Order take the rest.
Yes, I think you're right. Hopefully we didn't miss anything. Let's go talk to Pegast.
You were right. There is a machine back there. At least, there was, once. The years have taken their toll on it.
Well, that's not much of a surprise, considering how long it was down here. And as long as we can reconstruct it, that's alright. I sent some of my men back to Ark. We'll request a caravan to get all the parts back to the temple, and see what we can do from there. Let's just hope it really will help us against this cleansing, whatever it is. As much as I admire Pyrean technology, I don't like the idea of putting our lives in the hands of it.
Here, we found this near the machine. Maybe this can give us a little insight into what it really is.
Let me see. Nariman, Bronwa, Lydius, Mayo, Kis, Termayaywen. Interesting. Truly interesting.
What?
Seems that this machine was only some kind of prototype. The real one the Pyreans were working on must be somewhere else. Plus, there's also a name for it. The Pyreans called it the Beacon.
That's poetic.
Indeed. Well then, it seems like you and your visions have once again saved the day, prophetess. There's a lot for us to do now. If you've taken care of your business here, I suggest you head back to Ark and report to old Aranthiel.
What do you think, Saira? Do you want to leave now, or stay a little longer?
Go ahead, I have to make a detour through Duneville to get something.
As you wish.
Welcome be you merry drunkards, come along and drain your tumblers 15 times, there will be raised. So we start to count and pay 1 mug for the joy of being, 2 mugs for the clerics reading, 3 mugs for the needy souls who are always out of dough. Farmers drink and shepherds dead, all bored to death by crane and cattle, merchants, soldiers, wars alike, let the liquor soak the night.
Where from?
Pardon?
Where are you from? Who sent you? What do you want? Blah, blah, blah. The usual. I can't just let everyone walk into Duneville.
So, this is Duneville. I imagined it to be... I don't know. Bigger?
This, my dame, is what you call an entrance. The actual Duneville is below our feet. In a cavern. Who the heck are you? Wait a second. You're an outlander, aren't you? That explains a lot.
I need to get inside.
I figured that much already. Tell me what brings you here and maybe I'll let you in.
Look, pal, I just want something to eat and a bed. I am not going to do anything shady.
Alright, fine, you can pass. Something tells me you're not one of those bandits. But do yourself a favor and respect the rules, or your ass will be out in the dunes faster than you can count to 3.
Which rules? Doesn't the law of the order apply here?
Of course it does, with some minor adjustments. Listen, just behave yourself and don't do anything stupid and you'll be fine.
Fine. Thanks.
Don't mention it.
4 mugs to the brewer's beer, he's the reason we are here. 5 mugs to our gracious lord, we'll get hammered in Concord. And the nobles join our drinking, thirsty from their lofty drinking. Workers, landlords, all the same, this night there shall be no shame. Welcome be you merry drunkards, come along and drain your tumblers. My, have you not had enough? Let us start with the good stuff. 1 mug for the joy of being, 2 mugs for the clerics reading, 3 mugs for the needy souls who are always out of dough. Farmers drink and shepherds stats, all bored to death by crane and cattle, merchants, soldiers, hordes alike, let the liquor soak the night. Blow some chunks, it doesn't matter. We enjoy the booze and splatter. When we leave this place tonight, none shall be of sober mind. Yet this song comes near a close. Let us have a final toast. Here's to life and here's to saucing as we end our night's carousing.
I'm looking for dawnflower extract. I was told you might have some in stock.
Dawnflower extract? Yes, I do indeed. It's a rarity these days, however. 110 pennies a vial. No negotiating.
All right, here you go.
Perfect. A pleasure to do business with you.
just never end.
Now look at that, if it isn't my new friend. What brings you here? Have you also been granted an audience by the most pleasant living person in the civilized world?
You're talking about Daloran, I take it?
Well, certainly not the fabled king of Old Aranath. But yes, after 3 days of keeping me waiting, the great Daloran has finally deigned to see me. I suppose I should feel honored. What brings you here? More errands?
More errands.
I feel for you. Nice to see, however, that your travels have brought you into warmer regions of this country, too. I miss the sun and beaches of Killet. I really do.
How do you know I've been to the east?
We all have our secrets, don't we? Now, off you go to your master. I've heard he doesn't like his pets to keep him waiting.
Yes?
I've found the ingredients.
Wonderful. I've not been idle in the meantime either. Another protector provided me with some information on this Dijon. And as little as I like to say this, the odds that the Kalayans really are behind the ambush get more likely by the minute.
That's bad. So, what's the next step?
As I said, we need to be sure. First, we need to wait for the report from the apothecarius. Then...
You miserable, two-faced bastard! Don't you have any respect?
I could ask you the same thing.
Have I heard correctly that you seriously believe we had something to do with the ambush on your caravan?
What I believe is that there have been a series of peculiar coincidences, which we are investigating. No more, no less.
Peculiar coincidences. I see. As peculiar as the fact that you coincidentally forgot to inform us that the Scarabaeus has been stolen by a bunch of bandits?
Leave. Now.
The Blue Islands Coalition will learn of this accusation. And you are no better. Bloody liars, all of you.
Irreverent wench.
How did she know?
She must have eavesdropped. Kalayans like to do that.
Do you still think the Chileans are really behind the ambush? O'Neillis seemed offended by the implication.
How does the saying go? Those who've lost the path shout the loudest. If there were nothing to our assumptions, she would have stayed calm. But still, we need to know for certain.
How do you think the Blue Islands Coalition will react to this?
The question is when. I assume O'Neillis will contact them by letter. But even if she hires a Myrid courier to carry it, it will be days until the Kalayans get it. Until then, we won't know for sure. Here's your pay. You will hear from me once there's news.
There you are. Pegast's mages have already told the Grandmaster about our find, and they're waiting for us in the Emporium. Let's go.
All that I am saying is that there are more efficient ways to battle this red madness. And heathen machines atop the Sun Temple are the last thing that will calm the townsfolk.
Maybe. But if this heathen machine is what the Pyreans used to combat the cycle, I want it near. Even if it turns out to be useless, only a fool turns down a chance. Sharim, how long will the reconstruction take?
Well, that depends on how many Pyrean mechanics you have on hand that can help us decipher these plans. Just think for once, Aranthiel. How are we supposed to give you an estimation if we don't even know what the finished machine is supposed to look like?
We will get to work right away, Grandmaster. But in any case, we're going to need a lot of steel and Pyrean crystals.
You will get them. Now, get to work. You did excellent work. We will reconstruct this machine, no matter the price. Here, this will reward you for your effort. With a beacon and the sigiled stone, we now have both a sword and shield against these High Ones. That is more than I had hoped for. However, there has also been a disquieting development. I have called in a conclave. Come back then, and use the time to rest.
I think I still owe you an explanation.
About old Dothrgrad, I take it?
Yes, but let's talk somewhere else. Come on. So, sorry for all the secrecy. I just didn't want anyone else to listen in.
I can understand that. So what did you want to discuss?
Well, that moment when I neutralized the leader of the bandits in Old Dothrgrad. I'm sure you noticed that I was different then.
That's a nice way to put it, yeah. You completely lost it back there.
Yes, I did. And I know that. I'll make this quick. There is something about me that you don't know. That no one knows, actually. Do you remember what I told you in the curarium about the destroyed village? Well, I wasn't entirely honest with you.
So you do know what actually happened?
Not all of it, no, and it's true that I don't know how I ended up there. But I remembered something just before I regained consciousness. Some kind of vague memory. A feeling coupled with an image.
A feeling? What exactly do you mean by that?
It's hard to describe because it didn't last very long, but I saw myself, but I was somehow above the rooftops, as if I flew. Below me, I saw all the chaos, the dead, the fire, the devastated houses, and I somehow felt hot, but from inside, as if my blood was boiling. That sounds crazy, doesn't it? I'm sorry, but I don't know how to describe it better than that.
So, that was, what, a memory? I'm not sure I'm following.
It was something that actually happened, I'm sure of it. But the memory, it was somehow blurred. Like a dream, but a very vivid one.
What happened then?
Nothing. I woke up, and from there things happened just as I've already told you. But that's not really what I'm trying to get at. In that memory, when I saw all those dead bodies and all that destruction, I felt satisfaction, pleasure. As if all that suffering, all that pain was the most exhilarating thing I'd ever seen.
Honestly, I'm not sure I can follow. What are you trying to tell me?
Well, I didn't know what to make of that memory myself for quite a long time. But then, things happened that made me understand. There is something inside my head, Saira. Some kind of second soul, an entity. Most of the time it sleeps, but there are situations in which it wakes up. Mostly when something atrocious happens or has happened. Blood, pain, death. Whenever I'm confronted with these kinds of things, it tries to... I don't know how to put it. Tries to take control of me, and then things like Alt Dothrgrad happen. It's never managed to completely take me over, and it hasn't gotten as far as it did in Alt Dothrgrad for a long, long time now. But that memory from the village, I think that is what happens when I let myself go completely.
And I'm guessing this power you suddenly had when you killed the bandit comes from this entity inside you?
Yes, it is immense, Saira. I can feel it every time it is trying to take me over. I don't even want to think about what would happen if I were to give in completely.
In other words, you have some kind of demon inside you?
If that name seems fitting to you, then yes. But I think we both know these stories about ghosts taking over the living are just stories to scare the common folk. If it helps you, think of it as some kind of temptation. One that's just waiting for the moment when I am too weak to contain it.
That's a lot to take in.
I figure. Listen, what happened in Old Dothelgrad? I never should have let it come to that. But that moment when he charged me, the blood on his sword, I just couldn't contain it. And when I gave in, when I hacked him into pieces, I simply felt so thrilled. Complete. I was naive to believe it would never get that far again. Naive and stupid. But do you see now? This is the reason why I train so hard, why I always try to control my emotions, no matter what people do or say to me. This creature inside me, it's always on the hunt. And the only way I can keep it at bay is by controlling both my body and spirit 100%. Just one moment of carelessness. That's all it takes.
If you were to let it take you over completely, what would happen?
I don't know. And truth be told, I'm not sure I want to.
I see. Does the Order know about this? The Magisters?
Only Master Tyrus, my foster father. He taught me how to contain it by controlling my thoughts. And he also advised me never to tell anyone about it, which I haven't. Until today.
And why did you tell me?
I don't know. Probably because I was afraid you'd tell someone else about what happened in Old Dothelgrad and that would raise suspicions. A coward's move, I know, but it was the best solution I could come up with. I'm sorry.
You don't have to apologize, Kalia. I'm just trying to understand. So those villagers could have been right after all? Did you destroy that village?
I don't know, Sayira. Believe me, I've asked myself that question more than 100 times. And as much as I hate to admit it, yes, there's a chance it did. I'll never find out.
And there's nothing you can do about this? No way to somehow banish this monster?
No way that I know of, at least. Who should I ask? The apothecary? There are two ways that would go. Either they would ridicule me, or they would take me seriously and report my condition to the Order. Neither way helps me, and who knows what the Order would do if they found out, especially as strained as the situation is right now.
But if violence provoked this thing, why are you with the military wing of the Order?
Well, what would be the alternative? Transcribe Pyrean books like the Magisters do all day? Or drop out entirely and pour hot water for the upper city's noblewomen? Look, Sayira, as you've already pointed out, there is a chance that this thing inside me is responsible for the massacre in the village. And if that's true, I definitely have a lot of repentance to do, don't you think? And even if it isn't, I want to change things, to make the world at least a little bit better. And yes, I do realize that this means a lot of hardship and hard work for me, but I'm not afraid of that. Do you know why? Because that's what's missing in this world. So many people just talk, and never act, because that would mean that they'd have to actually endure something for what they believe in.
Sorry if I offended you in any way. I'm just worried for you, that's all.
Yes, I know. Sorry, I shouldn't have gotten so emotional. I just wanted to clear this up. Anyway, the one thing I ask of you is to keep silent about what I've told you. It will never come to something like that again, I promise. I'd like some time by myself now, and thanks for listening.